Hello everyone, welcome to Live Light. My name is Devin Davis, and today I'm going to show you how to program a light show in MA3. Now, this is considering that you've already downloaded the software. If you don't know how, or if this is your first time, I'll leave a link in the description on a full tutorial on how to download it and install it. But once you're with me, head on back and I'll show you how to start programming. Let's do it. So we start here in the MA software screen. It may seem a little daunting, but trust me, just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, it'll all make sense soon. So to start any light show, what you need to do is patch your lights. So if you come up here to this cog icon, the settings, come up with a menu, and you want to select patch. Right. It'll show your MA library. Down here on the left side, you'll have all the manufacturers, and on the right side, your fixtures, as well as what mode they're in. I'm in version 1.9.7. This menu may change depending on the future updates, but I like the way it is right now, so I hope not. If you're completely new to lighting, you're not going to understand the manufacturers or fixtures. You're not going to know any of that. If you aren't, you're already a step ahead. So let me help you out real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to search for one of the most common fixtures found in the production scene, called the Mac Viper. Just type Viper. Martin is the manufacturer. Mac is the series. Let's pick the Viper Performance. Why not? You go to 16-bit extended mode. It gives you 40 DMX channels. 32 if you're in this regular 16-bit mode. If you don't understand DMX channels right now, that's perfectly fine. I'll go over a full networking tutorial in a different video, but for right now, we're just going to do programming. So once you're here, you're going to have your new screen. It's going to have your fixture type, your mode, your footprint, the name, the quantity, the fixture ID, or FID, and your patch. So everything in this menu is dependent upon your first light. So this is your fixture name. What you want to do is give it a different name. I don't like MV doesn't really make sense to me. So we're going to select one of the suggestions over here. Let's do Mac Viper Performance 1. Right. So you'll notice it has a 1 after it, and you may be thinking that it will give the 1 name to every light. However, I'll show you in a second. It's actually pretty smart, and it doesn't do that. So what you want to do is go to your quantity, and for this tutorial, we're going to add 24 lights. 24. Fixture ID, we're going to leave it 1, and patch, we're going to leave it 1. So, we now have the first light. If we open up our name right here, we're going to have Performance 1, and as I said, it automatically goes and numbers all the lights that you put in there. So now we've got 1 through 24. This is your patch. It had a footprint of 40, so it starts at 1. Next one would be at 41, 81, 121. Once we've got our lights patched, we're going to go ahead and X out of this. We're going to save and exit. And now we're back to this empty screen. What we're going to go ahead and do is create a 3D view. Now, if you have lower end hardware, it may be worth lowering your render quality. You can do that by holding your left click and swiping down. And you can choose something line, simple, gobo. I've got a rather beefy computer, so I can handle the higher ones. So we're going to leave it a gobo for right now. And now you'll see here, we're left in a big open space. You've got a big grid pattern on the bottom here. You've got your walls. So let me tell you how to navigate this. On the left side over here, you're going to have a bunch of different tools. You're going to have your select tool. You're going to have your follow tool, pan or move, your orbit tool, your zoom, your pivot, your set pivot, and a bunch of different things. These are your camera settings down here, and we'll get into this little guy later. He'll prove to be very useful. So, with your select tool, if you left click and drag, it selects a certain area. Does nothing right now because we haven't set up our lights yet. If you right click, it'll give you an orbit feature. So if you right click and hold and drag around, it will orbit the camera. If you hold both left and right, it gives you your pan tool. Now if you scroll up, you zoom out. If you scroll down, you'll zoom in. And with those 3 tools right there, that's all you need to do to navigate your 3D screen. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but down here, we have a light. Now, what are we going to do with this light? You might be thinking, why is there just one? Where is the other 23? I'll show you. So if we select, go to command line down here, and we type 1, it will select one light. So if you press setup up here, right above my webcam, it will go into the setup menu, and you'll see different positions down here. Your x-axis, your y-axis, and your z-axis. So with that one light selected, you'll know it's selected because it will be highlighted yellow. You're going to take your scroll wheel on the Z, and you're going to drag it in a circle. Or you could right click and set your value. These are measured in meters. Go ahead and press 6, this tutorial, and you'll have one light at the Z-axis of 6. The rest of your lights will still be here. That is where the other 23 are. So now, how do you select all of them? I'll show you. Just go back to your command bar. You type 1 through, spelled THRU, 24, and you've successfully selected all of your Vipers. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go back to your Z-axis, and in order to set them all to the same value, you're going to press what you want. And once you've done that, they're all here. So now you've got all your lights in the air. So now what you're going to do is separate them. You can't have a bunch of things in one spot. I personally like using the align tool. So you'll see here, you've got 5 different modes. You've got the slash, you've got the less than, you've got the greater than, and you've got these two guys right here. So what I typically use to separate them is the divide tool. And then what you'll do is you'll scroll up on the x-axis. So if you take your scroll wheel and you scroll up, you'll see they start to divide. The central point expands into 2 different areas, left and right. You'll notice down here it says -3 ... 3. Yeah, so that's where your first light is, and that's where your last light is. There you go. So if we space them out here to where they're not touching, let's do 8.5. Why not? Perfect. Now you've got your lights separated and in the air. Great starting point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to this at button. We're going to press this clear button. And just like that, you've deselected your lights. And as I said earlier, to reselect them, you'll use your select tool. Make sure this is highlighted. You'll hold down your left click, and you will drag over your lights. They should all turn yellow if they're selected. Now from this point, we're going to take some of these lights, and we're going to put them on the floor. We're going to reorient them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the last 4 on the left, and then we're also going to take the last 4 on the right, and we're going to move those around. So what we're going to do is take your Z-axis, take it down to 0. These are going to be floor lights. Okay? You'll see the yellows poking through the floor here. We're going to do from there. So you're going to rotate them. So they're looking down right now. That's not what you want. You want them looking up. They are floor lights. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your Y-axis. Go ahead and right-click that. You're going to flip it full 180. Just like that. They're all looking up. And looking good. So now what I want to do is bring them in a bit. So what I'm going to do is take my align function again. Go ahead and go to divide. I'm going to scroll down. It's going to flip their orientation. And just like that, we've got a stage. Go ahead and press your clear button by going to the at once again. Press your clear. And you have a stage. Simple. Easy peasy. What I'm going to do, get out of the setup by going up to the top right and hitting setup. Perfect. So once you've got your stage view set up, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3D viewer and we're going to make it smaller. We're going to open up some space for other things. So if you look down here in this bottom right corner, drag that, and it gives you sizes. So if we make it about this big, makes it smaller, gives you much more open space for other different things, which we'll see in a second. You can go to the top here and drag it to where you want it to go. Let's make this fill up the right side of our screen for now. Go. Got it. Looking good. So at this point, we need to have ease of access for these lights. So what we'll do is create the groups. Go ahead and click on any open space in this left side. I typically do the top left corner for ease of use. And you'll be brought up to a menu, your add window, and we're going to go over to data pools and go down to groups. Go ahead and redrag this up so you've got one solid line. What we're going to do from there is you see that you've got 7 boxes here that are completely empty. That is because we have no groups stored to them. So what we're going to do is exactly that. So now what we're going to do is go back to our 3D viewer. We're going to select our lights again. So just like I said before, 24. Now, because you've made it to this point, I'm going to teach you a little shortcut, a little magic trick. Go ahead and press clear out of that and clear our selection. Watch this. If you type 1 and it's shortcut T, no space is required, press enter. All done. Selects all your lights. So now they're all selected. What we're going to do is store it to a group. Now there's a couple ways of doing that. Let me show you how. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the command overlay over here, found underneath the settings icon. Looks like a little key. We're going to tap that, and we're going to go over to store. This is going to be right here, the big button, right next to the MA button. So we're going to type store. Get out of this by pressing the X icon. And we're going to tap the 1 button for group 1. Creates a group. So now we just have group number 1, which if we tap on that, selects all your lights immediately. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rename it. So if you start typing on your keyboard, it comes up with the label group window. We're going to call this all your Vipers. Perfect. Go ahead and clear out of that. Oh, now what we want is a group for all your ceiling Vipers and all your floor Vipers. So how are we going to do that? Go over to the 3D viewer, take your select icon, and just like that, all your tops. Now let me show you another way of storing groups. I don't personally like the command overlay, so what you can do is if you've got your light selected, go over to 2 and just click and hold. The group comes up. Perfect. Just like that. Now we start typing. Ceiling Vipers. Perfect. Now that you got your Ceiling Viper group made, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our 3D viewer. We're going to select our floor lights. And we're going to do the same thing. Left click hold on group number 3. We're going to call that floor. All right. So now we've got our groups made. All your lights, clear out of that. Ceiling lights, clear out of that. And floor lights. And now you got your groups. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is start playing around in this area right here. This is where all the magic is made. Let's go ahead and go to our Ceiling Vipers. And all we need to do is turn them on. So that would be your dimmer. So now what you're going to do is you're going to select the encoder wheel on the dimmer by left clicking and holding, and then you can drag it up till you get to 100. Just like that, all your Vipers are at full intensity. Right. So now we're going to make a move. If you go down to the position tab, you'll see the P and the T. Now this stands for pan and tilt. So your pan is going to be the sideways, the horizontal rotation, and your tilt is going to be your vertical rotation. So we go ahead and take our tilt, and we scroll up, it goes away from us. We scroll down, it goes towards us. Perfect. So now that's the beginning. We're getting there. So let me show you. You've got your position set. You've got different gobo options. If you're new to lighting, a gobo is simply just a pattern, right? Gobos are fun, but I'll show you that a bit later. So what we're going to go ahead and do is give these lights some color. Now if you click in the empty space below groups, up in the corner, you go over to common. So we were at data pools before. You want to go to common, and you're going to select your color picker. Now in the color picker menu, you will see a bunch of different graphics. You'll have this one. If you go up to the top here, you'll have a different graphic. You'll have faders, and you'll have a book with a bunch of predetermined colors. Now let's go up to the CIE tab up here, and let's select the color. Now making sure you've got your top light selected, we're going to go ahead and drag this. And as you see, the lights adjust accordingly. Let's give this like light blue. Why not? So now all our Vipers are shooting a light blue beam. And it's looking better. So where do we go from this? Once you've got your color and a slight position, let's make a fan out effect, right? So let's make them curve around a bit. So that's going to go back to your align function. So if we go down to our position, and we select the align tool, click it once for the divide tool, start scrolling up on your pan, they start to curve out. Perfect. Now we have a nice looking fan. Now what you can do from here is you can take your lights, you can scroll up, make a ceiling fan, not literally, or you can put them down to the ground, and it's nice. Now, let me show you how to store these looks. So if we go over here to the color picker, press the MA button, you'll see the delete window up here. Now, like once again, it's up in the left corner, the MA, you select that, select delete window. Let's go back into that empty space, go back to our data pools, and, presets. We're going to do our presets, we're going to select position. Alright, so now that we've got our position pool made, say that I like this look and I want to store it for later. What you'll do is go ahead and select the one, once again by left clicking and holding it, creates your preset. Start typing, say front fan. Perfect. Now you got your front fan. Let's make a couple more positions. You can make as many as you like, but I'll just show you a couple. So what we can do, take your tilt, left click on it, go default. That brings them all straight down. I'm going to go ahead and do the default on the pan as well. And we're going to store this as a look. Left click that. So this is defaulted. Let's make a ceiling look. So if we scroll up, scroll the lights up towards us, create a ceiling look. Let's store that. Perfect. And then let's create a fan for the ceiling as well. You're going to go to your divide tool and fan it out. And store that. All right. It's not consistent. All right, ceiling fan. Cool. We've got that stored. Now let's mess with these bottom lights. Let's make a cool look. So if you select your floor Vipers, you'll notice it automatically deselects your ceiling Vipers. Go ahead and let's turn this on. Now you might be thinking, you can store a position preset. That's right. You can also store a dimmer preset. Let's go ahead and dimmer here. We'll make this a little smaller. Go dimmer, full. You'll notice they immediately go to 100. And you can store that as a dimmer preset. All right. Now, because we're here and we're doing it, let's go ahead and set it to 50. So now you got half intensity. There you go. And let's set it to 0 as well for easy access. Perfect. So now what we're going to do, get them full. Let's make these a different color. Let's open up our color picker again under the common tab. Let's make these maybe purple. There we go. Perfect. So these are purple. Let's bring them down a bit using the tilt. And let's fan them out. Oh, make sure you get your line tool on. Fan them out. Perfect. Matter of fact, I've shown you the fan outs. Let me show you how to cross them in. It's as simple as take them the other way. There you go. Now it's starting to look like an 80s rock band. I like 80s rock bands. I don't know about you. So here we go. You've got your cross look. What we're going to do from here is let's store this as a look. So we're going to store this as a position. You'll find that our ceiling lights positions are all grayed out. Now why is this? So we weren't selecting the bottom lights when we stored those presets. So it doesn't know what to do with these lights. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ceiling fan, the one that we left the ceiling lights in. We're going to left click on that group. Just swipe down. You're going to press store. All right, so let go of left click on store. So you've got a couple options here. You've got your overwrite, your merge, remove, and cancel. Overwrite is for if you need to completely overwrite the old preset and create a new one. But what we're doing is merging. Go. So now it's merged. Now this look is stored under the ceiling fan. So if we go ahead and clear this all out, right? Press clear one time, you'll notice that the lights are still on. Now why is that? There's 3 different phases to clearing. You've got your clear selection, you've got your clear active, and you got your clear all. What we're going to do is press it 3 times. Then they all go dark. So now that they're dark, what we're going to do is we're going to take our ceiling vipers. We're going to take them to the front ceiling position. We'll put them at full intensity. And let's make a color preset pool. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to go down a little bit. Go back to common and create my color picker. Select color. Let's do red this time. And we're going to create a color preset pool. Size this up. And left click and hold, and congratulations, you've just created a color preset. So if you've got a special color that you want to save for later and you don't want to have to memorize the values, there you go. Just select it. Let's create a different color. Maybe a yellow, green, a light blue, dark blue, a purple. Go, let's make a hot pink. Perfect. There you go. Now you got some colors to work with. Now if we go and select our floor lights, go into the ceiling fan position at full and select like a light blue. Why not? This looks a little awkward, but it did exactly what you told it to do. So we're looking good. If we take our dimmer down to 50%, you can see the purple a little bit better. Great. This is perfect. So there you go, guys. There's my introductory video. It's going to call this a part 1 to my MA tutorials. This was just the bare basics. I'm going to be going into more depth and more detail in future videos. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment in the section below. And until next time, this is Live Light. See you later. Goodbye.